Hello everybody, I'm at the Tractor Supply in LaPorte, Indiana, and we're about to embark on an 8-week adventure of raising chickens. Hi everybody, I just got my chicks. You know, it was pretty interesting buying them. This first time I bought them from a Tractor Supply. Usually I get them mailed in. They asked if I had all my feeders and heat lamps. They wanted to make sure that we had our stuff. But what else is interesting is the amount of marketing going into the box that they put these guys in. They got their chick days, the Tractor Supply logo. They have coupons, $2 off your feed, $10 off your next purchase of $100 or more, $1 instant rebate on feeders and waters, 50 cents off a pound of grit, which grit's one of those things that new people buy, but if you're just feeding regular old chicken feed, that you don't need grit. Only if you start giving vegetables and treats and stuff that they need to break up, you need to get grit. One more thing about buying the chickens, that in the springtime it's 40 degrees outside. If you got a pickup truck, they need the ride inside the truck, and you need to put them in your back seat and put them somewhere where if you slam on the brakes they're not going to get out. You know, make sure that, like me, I got a pad of paper towels in between them, so that will stop them from getting out or the box getting thrown around, and it's flush against the back of the seat. So you got to take care of them. You don't want any to die yet. They're home, and the chicks are right where we left them. Nice ride home. Unboxing the chickens now. You want to give their butts a look in the camera and make sure they're clean of any poo. And then you just let them into the brooder. And they'll get used to it. When I bought these chickens, the lady said that they're a week old. So that's nice. That's going to save a week off the growing. You know, these guys are getting big already. You see, they can grip onto that wire floor very good. They just hold on to it. You know, they got poo on their feet from walking in the box. And you see, they did a lot of pooing. The poo's important. If the poo's not thick and brown like that, if it's bloody or watery, that might be a problem. I got 10 of these Cornish Rocks. They were $1.28 per piece before tax. I gotta check the receipt to see if they are taxable. You know, that guy's breast, you know, not good. They won't get that in here because the poo's gonna fall to the bottom. You know, one of the things you gotta worry about with these Cornish Rocks is breast blisters. You know, these chicks look like they've been taken care of pretty well. So they'll figure out how things are going. They're not getting through these holes either. My wife was concerned about that. So one note, I have the guard here fully up. And when I hatch chicks myself, I have to have that thing slid down because my chicks are so small that they can come through that. That's how much bigger these chicks are. Back to the chickens. One thing you gotta look at when you got new chickens, if they're all under the light, that means they're cold. You want them spread out. I do have a 250 watt lamp going and a heater that's built into this thing going. I did only start the brooder about an hour ago, so it's not fully heated yet, so they're going to be a little cold until it really gets heated. I did notice that they're pecking, that some of the chicks, you see, he just poked his head in, they're figuring it out. They're figuring out where the food is, so that's good. I'm using chick starter, as you can't really see. This one is a 17% protein, and I'd maybe like it to be 20%, but when I go buy the next bag, I'll get 20. This has it's treated. It has cocci medicine in it, which is amperilum. It is not an antibiotic. Many people see the medicated feed and they think that it has antibiotics. No, it doesn't. There isn't any chicken feed made with antibiotics that I know of sold in our area. Amperilum is a medication that blocks a vitamin that coccidiosis needs to survive. Cocci is a protozoa that lives in the intestine system, and actually every bird has cocci, but it gets out of control and it can kill them. So, and ways to prevent cocci is to keep the bedding clean, keep the brooder clean, and keep the birds separated from their poo, because that's where they get it. That's how it multiplies, is that they eat their poo, they walk in their poo. So ideally, like I have, is I have a wire floor, and they come through the wire. The poo falls through the wire down to a tray below, and the chicks walk on a clean floor. As you see that they're eating away, they're filling up. These chickens are eaters. In about 6 weeks, you'll be able to butcher these chickens, and they'll be market weight. I'm actually going to keep them 2 extra weeks, and actually 5 weeks, because these chickens have been in the store for a week. So that means TSC fed and watered these chickens for a whole week, and that's going to save some work. Even though in weeks 4 through 8, these guys are going to be huge. They're going to eat a ton of feed, and that's when the fun really begins. You know, one thing I've noticed that we haven't got our heads stuck out to the water yet. So I want them to drink some water. I'm going to dab some water up there and try to get the chicks' attention, because the chicks know the drink. He's seen that water. He's pecking at my finger. Get him through. Hello everybody. When you get your chicks home from the feed store, you want to have them in a prepared brooder that has feed and water and a heat lamp. You know, mine is this thing's older than I am. It's missing some parts. I modified it. This brooder has a heat system in it and a wafer, but I prefer to use that too, just as a backup. As you see, the chickens, they stick their heads out to eat and drink, and you can still buy one of these today for about $250. I got mine at auction for $30. Obviously it's missing a metal piece, so we use a metal screen. That's a metal screen, it's not a plastic one. Don't use a plastic or your heat light will melt it. The other option is to use a large plastic tote and suspend the light over it, or do what I did, is I cut a hole in it and put hardware cloth down to set the light right on top.